The Order of Friars Minor elected its new Minister General as the 121st successor of St. Francis on the 13th of July. Brother Massimo Fusarelli will be the superior of more than 12,000 brothers scattered all over the world. The program of the Syrian Catholic Patriarch Ignatius Joseph III Younan's visit to the Holy Land. During his pastoral visit, the ordination of Bishop Yacoub Aphram Semaan, patriarchal vicar in Jerusalem, the Holy Land and Jordan. The Basilica of the Holy Sepulchre is a destination for pilgrims from all over the world who visit Jerusalem. The 15th of July is the day on which, as every year, the dedication of the Basilica, which took place during the Crusader era in 1149, is commemorated. The pharmacist in ancient times was also considered a doctor, diagnosing illnesses and giving medicines. The pharmacy at St. Saviour's Convent in Jerusalem provided medical care for the local population from the 13th century until 1915, Christians, Jews and Muslims. The Order of Friars Minor elected on the 13th of July its new Minister General as the 121st successor of St. Francis. He will be the superior of more than 12,000 brothers all over the world. Massimo Fusarelli was elected for the sexennium 2021-2027. He replaces Brother Michael Anthony Perry from Indianapolis, USA, who was elected on the 21st of May 2015. The announcement was made by Cardinal João Braz de Avis, prefect of the Congregation for Institutes of Consecrated Life and Societies of Apostolic Life, designated by Pope Francis as Cardinal Delegate to preside over the OFM General Chapter 2021. Brother Fusarelli was born on the 30th of March 1963, made his solemn profession on the 30th of July 1983, and belongs to the province of Rome. He was General Secretary of Formation and Studies from 2003 to 2009. He was Provincial of the province of St. Bonaventure of the Friars Minor of Lazio, Abruzzo. The words of Brother Massimo Fusarelli in the interview with Brother Francesco Patton, Custos of the Holy Land. We are with Brother Massimo Fusarelli, the newly elected Minister General of the Order of Friars Minor. The first thing we would like to ask you is, what are the feelings that move within your heart after this election?
The
first feeling is one of fear and vertigo in the face of what is being asked of me, and also in the face of an awareness of my weakness, my limits, and the burden that is heavy. On the other hand, however, once the election was made and I saw the trust of the brothers and received their embrace, a sense of peace and trust came over me. I hope that this will grow as abandonment to the Lord, knowing that I'm not carrying this burden alone. Starting from the unbranded rule, which is now 800 years old, I believe that the first challenge is to keep the rule, that is, the gospel and life together, and not to affirm one without the other, and from life to return to the gospel. So this also means giving greater depth, greater reality. What St. Francis calls the spirit of adoration and devotion that is nourished by prayerful listening to the gospel. And surely another challenge for us is to continue to grow in thinking globally as an order while acting locally, each in his own reality.
Localmente, ciascuno nella sua realtà. La prima parola che dico ai frati e ai cristiani.
The first word to say to the friars and to the Christians and the people who live in the Holy Land is thanks for being there, for staying and for remaining as Franciscans as we have been for 800 years, and especially as Christians. The second word I want to say is a word of encouragement to stay in a difficult situation. Those who live in the Holy Land are used to it and becoming more and more a sign, as St. Francis of Assisi wished, a sign of encounter, of dialogue, a sign also of this continuous presence of prayer, of praise and of welcoming pilgrims, especially in the sanctuaries. And then a third word is that of thanks and encouragement to live in the educational mission of the custody, in schools, parishes. I think also of the Studium Biblicum Franciscanum, the schools and colleges that the custody manages. And then the fourth word I say to myself and to the order, I want to continue to take special care of the Holy Land. We want to do it as an order, clearly inviting and encouraging the friars of the order to give time to their lives for this special and unique presence. I'm certain that this requires even greater commitment and even greater joy in being there and continuing to serve those places.
Gioia anche nell'esserci e nel continuare a servire quei luoghi.
The Christian Media Center recalls some moments of Brother Michael Perry's visit to the Holy Land on the occasion of the Congress of Commissioners and the commemoration of the 800th anniversary of the arrival of the first Franciscans in the Middle East. The identity of the custody of the Holy Land.
Credo che viviamo in un mondo oggi tanti cambiamenti.
I believe that today we live in a world of many changes, changes for the good and also for the bad. We have some changes that offer us the possibility to deepen the sense of our identity and belonging, and also the orientation for the future, and this touches the custody at this moment, its own identity, which is an evangelical, charismatic Franciscan identity.
Che è questa identità evangelica, questa identità carismatica francescana.
In the great challenges, do not be afraid, God is with you.
Io credo questa è una la permanenza dei frati minori
I believe that the permanence of the Friars Minor is a challenge for everyone, and that this is, above all, our vocation in Syria today, to show that God has not abandoned his people.
Per dimostrare che Dio non ha abbandonato il suo popolo.
The 800th anniversary of St. Francis's peace pilgrimage to Egypt. Day of prayer for the Holy Land, oasis of peace and hope. It is important to emphasize that this mission has been renewed several times by different popes, but what is even more important is to remember that the places always have something to say to all humanity.
Ripeto, ringraziare tutti i frati in servizio ai commissariati e anche tutti i
I thank again all the brothers serving in the commissariats and all the brothers serving in the Holy Land. Know that you are not alone. The whole order is present and prays with you. We are together and Christ is present. Let us thank God even at this difficult time for his love and his presence in our lives and in our world.
Però per il suo amore e la sua presenza nella nostra vita e nel nostro mondo.
The Church of St. Thomas the Apostle in Jerusalem was the first stop of the apostolic and pastoral visit of His Beatitude Ignatius Joseph III Younan, Patriarch of Antioch of the Syrians, leader of the Syrian Catholic community, accompanied by the Archbishop of Baghdad Aphram Yusuf Abba and Monsignor Habib Murad, General Patriarchal Curator and Secretary of the Syrian Catholic Patriarchate.
اليوم جئت كبطريرك كي
I have come today as Patriarch to announce that every Christian has the right to make a pilgrimage to this Holy Land. I have touched and experienced the challenges and the pain that the people of this land suffer. We must remain rooted in the land of our grandparents. We must accept the challenges and tribulations in order to remain true witnesses of the risen Lord, who has promised to remain with us.
وعدنا أن يبقى دائما معنا.
The following day, Patriarch Younan presided over the ceremonial liturgy and ordination of Archbishop Yacoub Aphram Semaan, Patriarchal Vicar in Jerusalem, the Holy Land, and Jordan. I thank our Lord Jesus for bringing me to the Holy Land. I consider my visit here as a divine providence. I hope to live up to the expectations of the people. I will do my best to be at their side, to listen to their concerns and complaints, and to make them feel my love and care and tenderness for them of the Church. which is mother and teacher.
واهتمام الكنيسة وحنان الكنيسة عليهم. الكنيسة هي ومعلمة.
Syrian Catholic Patriarch Younan's visit included meetings with church leaders where their role in preserving the living stones and Christian heritage in the Holy Land was emphasized. The meetings had a fraternal and ecumenical unitary character because we are all one church in Christ. We are brothers and sisters since we are baptized in the name of the Holy Trinity.
ما دمنا معمدين باسم الثالوث الأقدس نحن أخوة وأخوات.
In coordination with the Presidential Committee for Church Affairs, Mahmoud Abbas, President of the State of Palestine, received his beatitude Patriarch Younan, who praised President Abbas's efforts to promote reconciliation, brotherhood and coexistence in the hope that peace will prevail in the Middle East. The Basilica of the Holy Sepulchre is a destination for all Christian pilgrims visiting Jerusalem. Every day at 5 a.m., the three communities responsible for the holy place opens its doors. The Basilica brings together the places linked to the death and resurrection of Jesus, emphasizing the unity of the two mysteries. The Basilica preserves the site of the tomb that held the body of Jesus from the moment of burial until the resurrection. A long history, from the first Christians to the present day. On the 15th of July each year, the dedication of the Basilica, which took place during the Crusades in 1149, is commemorated. Brother Dobromir Yacoub, vicar of the custody of the Holy Land, presided over the celebration together with the friars of the custody. In his homily, Brother Dobromir recalls the Apostle Paul's discourse on the death sentence and resurrection of Jesus, who, although they found no reason to condemn him to death, they asked Pilate that he be killed. When they had fulfilled all that had been written about him, they laid him down from the cross and put him in the tomb. But God raised him from the dead. The biblical texts recount these episodes and insist that there were witnesses to what happened, witnesses who have crossed the centuries and come down to us. This place is the only one of its kind in all of Christendom. It is the place where we come to meet the risen living Jesus, and thus from this encounter to strengthen our faith. Brother Yacoub emphasizes the need for Christian witness.
Quando diventiamo capaci a incarnare e poi anche trasmettere verso.
When we become capable of embodying and then also transmitting to others the sentiments of Christ, then it is not enough to denounce the evil that we see. It is not enough to denounce the damage, the wars, and all the negative facts. What is important is to learn to forgive, to learn to love, to reject all that is called evil, all that leads to war and destroys peace.
A rifiutare tutto ciò che si chiama male, tutto ciò che porta alla guerra, che distrugge la pace.
The Franciscan presence in the sanctuaries of the Holy Land and the anticipation of the arrival of pilgrims.
I francescani, come è stato anche sottolineato, hanno ricevuto una missione di custodire.
The Franciscans, as has also been pointed out, have received a mission to guard the holy places, to pray in these places, to pray for all the locals and also for all humanity. Certainly there are events and facts that prevent the arrival of the pilgrims, but by praying here we remain united with the pilgrims in prayer. We also hope that they will soon be able to return to have a personal experience of the encounter with the risen Jesus here in this place.
Ritornare per avere la personale esperienza dell'incontro di Gesù risorto qui in questo luogo.
The Franciscans, as religious, are here to heal souls. It is important to have a healthy soul in a healthy body. It has always been important for the friars to heal people in this country because in the past, during the Ottoman Empire and before that during the Mamluk period, there were no or very few doctors.
Pendant l'époque mamelouk.
The history of the Franciscan order in the Holy Land preserves the memory of the many friars who sacrificed their lives to be close to the people. The pharmacy of St. Saviour's Convent in the heart of the old city of Jerusalem has been a place of care for the sick since the beginning of the 13th century. We can admire this painting by the Italian painter Paolo Gaetano dating from 1898. We can see the friars taking care of people. Today, when we think of the coronavirus pandemic that afflicts us, we must also remember all the other epidemics, such as the plague, that have spread over the centuries in Jerusalem. St. Saviour's Pharmacy operated until 1915, and inside there were more than 400 containers of various types of medicines, which were used to treat the local population, Christians, Jews and Muslims. Many sick people from outside the city came to the pharmacy in search of treatment.
Des œuvres d'art très importantes au niveau du patrimoine.
These works of art are very important for the world heritage related to the history of medicine. There are only 3 complete pharmacies in the world that date back to this era. What is important for us is to testify that the Franciscans of past centuries, as well as the Church of Jerusalem today, remain a bridge between communities, a bridge between Christians, Jews and Muslims. The shelves of the Library of the Custody of the Holy Land contain the latest medical discoveries of the time.
Bien des livres sont conservés ici depuis le XVe siècle.
Books have been stored here since the 15th century. Among them there is a collection of 1,300 medical books, including 2 ancient works. The first dates back to 1626 and is written in Spanish. Inside you can see the emblems of the Kingdom of Spain, while the second, which is older, dates back to 1604 and is in Italian.
Ici, un deuxième livre qui est le plus ancien livre de médecine. Donc nous voyons ici 1604, un livre en italien.
The pharmacy at St. Saviour's Convent, which will have a dedicated section within the Terra Museum, is a fundamental piece of the Franciscan presence and an important reference point for the Christian roots in the Holy Land.
Cette pharmacie a été fermée car au XXe siècle, nous ne soignons plus les personnes avec les...
This pharmacy was closed in the 20th century because people were no longer treated with plants but with stings and interventions. This is why the Franciscans began to collaborate with the Sisters of St. Joseph, opening some hospitals in Jerusalem.
Les frères ont collaboré avec les sœurs de Saint-Joseph qui vont ouvrir des hôpitaux ici à Jérusalem. Le musée devrait ainsi...
The Terra Sancta Museum will highlight the role of the Church in doing good for all people.
À chaque homme